Hey guys, HannahMouse1 here. So today I'm going to be doing a part 2 to the video that I did a little while ago where I painted a garden gnome. I'm going to be doing this one in a similar style to the last one. I want them to go together as like a set. The reason I'm doing this in part is because the people want it. Yeah, not sure about that one. But yeah. By popular demand, I'm doing a part 2 to this. The last one I did it as a strawberry ice cream, and today I'm going to be doing a chocolate ice cream cone one. And I'm just here mixing up a nice light tan colour. I'm using these Baker Ross acrylic paints. I used in the last video as well. And I'm just trying to mix it up to get to the right colour. Being pretty particular about this, and I end up changing this several times anyway, but still I just mix this up, adding more and more white. I want this to be a very light colour. This is the Whippy ice cream, Mr. Whippy ice cream that is forming the actual colour. And as you can see, I'm using a very slightly larger paintbrush this time. This gnome was a bit more damaged than the last one. Like, there were a few chips and cracks, but none of them were severe enough that I could be bothered to fix them, so yeah. If I do any more of these, all the other gnomes have pretty severe injuries that might require some actual repair work. But with all these chips and cracks, I was just like, you won't see it when it's painted. You can see them, but whatever. So yeah, I was having trouble with the paint adhering, so I just mixed in some PVA glue to the paint, which sometimes helps the paint stick. And I did find that this really did help with this. I just mixed that in, roughly 1 part paint to 1 part glue, and this just helped the paint, like, thickened up the paint a bit, and it just helped it stick to the smooth surface of the ceramic or whatever this is made out of. So yeah, I just go over this quickly with a coat of this paint. This paint's weird. When it darkens, when it dries, it darkens, and it's really, really annoying. So here, I was loving this colour. I think this colour is so cute. But when it dried, it darkened, and then it's not so cute. So, yeah. Yeah, I just go across all over the hat and the face with this colour. Basically anywhere that I did, like, its corresponding colour on the strawberry gnome, I did on this one. Check out that video if you haven't seen that one. I'll leave a link to in the iCard in the corner of the screen. Yeah, I do the hands as well in the same colour because that's what I did on the other one. This is like basically a cross between the skin colour and the ice cream colour. Yeah, when I saw these gnomes, I instantly thought of ice cream. Yeah, as you can see, that colour darkened big time. Whatever. So here I'm mixing up, I think a brown colour to act as like chocolate. Start off with an orange because I don't have any complementary colours pretty much, so I had to start off by making orange, which I could then incorporate the blue into, because if you don't know, mixing any complementary colours will create brown. So if you mix green and red, that makes brown. If you mix orange and blue, that makes brown. If you mix purple and yellow, that makes brown. Colour theory. Wow. So now I mix in the blue, which, as you can see, instantly creates this brown colour. I always find it requires a bit of adjusting afterwards, but yeah, so I just try and like liven it up a bit, because when I did add in the blue, it did mute it slightly, because that's also how you mute colours, you add the opposite colour. So I wanted it to be lively coloured. Does that make any sense? So yeah, I just add in more of the yellow and red until I get to a chocolatey colour that I am satisfied with. So yeah, I just mix this in and just keep going until I get the colour I am looking for. And I want it to be a very consistent colour, and then I just apply that. I just use what's on this brush first, just to avoid wasting any paint. This isn't a good brush to paint with. It's one of those ones from those like kiddie art sets that, like, you know, Well, they figure that kids don't need good quality art supplies, so they just chuck on the cheapest thing they can humanly find. Basically, the only thing they're good for is mixing paints. And sometimes I use it as a dotting tool. So yeah, I then just start painting on the chocolate beard for this one. So it's kind of like chocolate sauce, I guess, that has like accumulated at the bottom of the ice cream cone. Or maybe it's just like the cone's been dipped in chocolate. That probably makes more sense. So yeah, I then just apply this all over the beard and just keep working that up until I get a nice dark, nice complete consistent colour. Because this paint is slightly transparent, so it requires a couple coats to get to where I want it to be. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm waiting for here. Okay, so now we go on to the axe that he's holding. I had no clue what to do with this. On the other one, I used it, I did the strawberry as, the mushroom as a strawberry, but I didn't know how to make an axe look like a chocolate thing. So in the end, I just kind of made it into a chocolate cookie cake thing. I don't know if that entirely comes across, but I think it still comes out cute in the end. So yeah, I just paint that in the same brown colour. At this point, I was just kind of thinking, I'll paint it brown and deal with it later, because I had no clue what I wanted to do with it. And I just go over the beard another time, just to make sure that it's a nice, consistent colour. You go back over that, over and over, back over the cookie cake thingy. Yeah. Obviously I'll have to tie this all up later, but still. I then use the same chocolate colour to do some chocolate sauce around the ice cream cone in all the grooves and indents where the hat bulges out. I then just carefully just go around and just paint on the thin lines. I find it's easier to do the lines a bit messily and then go back with the base colour, so that would be the light orange colour, and neaten it up that way. I find that gets more consistent results. But keeping it as tidy as possible does help. And as you can see, the paint was still not adhering well at the back. That required like 20 coats to become consistent, so I'll just handle that later. So yeah, I just go through and just add the sauce in all over, in every single indent that, and bulge of the hat. I also just add something because there are those indents and it does make it look more polished to have some colour difference in those gaps. I think it looks good. And I'm wondering what I had on the my computer screen that was flashing like that. It's really messing up with the lighting here. A bit distracting, honestly, but we'll cope, I'm sure. So I just give that another coat. I don't know why I showed you all of the coats I did on the beard, but whatever. So just painting that. I'm painting it kind of really sporadically. Yeah, just give everything a nice consistent covering, just to make sure that none of the, it doesn't look too spotty or weird, I guess. Just try and neaten up the frosting as much as possible, or the sauce as much as possible. It's not really frosting. I then do the eyebrows in the same chocolate colour. Just do that a couple times. I'm using a detail brush for this one. Great to see me actually using some other brushes than just the one with the purple handle. Have I used that one at all yet? Oh, here we go. Here's the purple handled brush that I love so much. I then use this to black out the mouth, which really makes it look demonic, but hey, there's always that stage in your artwork where you've started the detail work but haven't finished it, where your creations look purely alien. You have to just trust yourself that it's going to come out alright in the end. But yeah, just go through and add in the eyes, which doesn't help the demon look. I tidied that up a bit, especially around the mouth, because that was a complete mess. So I just go around and make sure that the lines where the mouth ends is where the mouth ends and it's not spilling out blackness over his face. I use the end of my paintbrush as a dotting tool. It wasn't overly effective. I probably could have just used a detail brush for this, but whatever. Or, bought a dotting tool, but, I'm someone who uses paint, yogurt pots as paint palettes because I don't have a paint palette. And paint palettes are like the cheapest thing on the planet. Yeah, I just add in the pupils and then add in, try and white out an area where the tongue's going to be, because going over that in pink would be a nightmare because the pink isn't as opaque as the white, and even the white's not overly opaque, but trying to go over a dark colour with a light colour is difficult, and I don't want to have to contend with the black underneath, so I just white it out first. And I just try and get as consistent a coat as possible, but obviously I'm not going to get it perfect. So I then decide to add a nice drippy frosting onto the cookie cake thing. I just use white to make that colour. I just smothered it on and then try to make it look like there's drips of frosting. Yeah, clearly whoever frosted it did not do a good job because it probably shouldn't be dripping that badly. I guess they just poured it on and then they just let it roam freely down the sides of the cake, which I think is pretty cute. So, yeah. Also, that was out of focus for a while there. Glad it's back in good focus. So yeah, I just go all across the back and try and fill that out as much as possible. Kind of getting out of frame there. I was doing such a good job this episode. I was staying in frame. But whatever. Not too bad. So yeah. I just try and build up that white colour, which isn't easy because, white over dark brown is never going to be an easy colour switch. But, yeah. I never put that other gnome outside. Mostly just because the weather's terrible in England, and I am going to put it outside eventually, but I'm like, I don't want to expose it to the wind and the rain and all the dirt out there. So, at this point I don't like it, so I try lightening up the ice cream colour, which I do think helped, especially when put with the other one, which has a very light colouring to it. So now I just dot on some chocolate sprinkles, like chocolate chips or something, onto the frosting of the cookie cake. Yeah, I just do these randomly and just try and make tiny little dots. Nothing crazy. I then darken up this colour slightly, make a darker brown. I realised I probably put in a bit too much black there, so I try and scoop it out. I don't want this to become black, I just want it to be a dark brown. So I just scoop out some of that and then just mix in the rest to darken the colour. And I test it out, see whether I like it or not. And I wasn't 100% satisfied with it, so back to the mixing board. I thought maybe it just wasn't mixed in enough. Maybe the black wasn't mixed in. I think I forgot that the paint darkens once it dries, because I expected it to dark. Also, yeah, it was really desaturated, so I just perked it up a bit with a bit of red. Yeah, often if I use the orange and then blue one, often I find it goes really yellowy. I don't know why. So yeah, it's when you darken it, it just goes more yellow, so I have to perk it up with a bit of red. It really is a trial and error game of add a bit more of this, add a bit less of that sort of game. So yeah, try that out, see whether I like it. Go back to mix it up a bit more, try and make sure it's a nice consistent colour. And then I'm feeling pretty happy with this, so I just start smothering it on to gnome. I do the back in the same colour. These are just the overalls, which is like a chocolatey cone colour thing. Mostly just because I want his undershirt to be the cone colour, and I wanted there to be some variation. And it's also what I did on the other one, so they have to go together. And I just go over it until I have covered all the areas that I want to have covered. I then mix up another brown colour. There's a lot of brown colours in this project. Also, I'm probably going to be doing a vanilla one as well at some point. Whether I'll film that or not, I'm not sure. Maybe if the people request it again. But, yeah. So, I just go through and make up a nice orange colour, which I can then add some blue to. The blue paint's weird. Sometimes it likes to come out, sometimes it doesn't. The bottle's a bit weird. I don't know why. So I just mix that in. And a lot more blue came out than I expected, I'll admit. So I just perk that up with a bit of red and a bit of yellow. It's all about balance. It's all about getting a nice balance of colours. So I just mix that up. Try and get a nice colour. Just going back and forth between the different colours until I get the one I'm looking for. So I mix this all up and I just try and until I get the colour that I'm looking for, and I just apply this to anywhere that looks like the undershirt of the character or the gnome character. So that includes the arms, the little patch at the back, and the front of the gnome. Have to all be in this coney cake colour. I just apply a nice layer of that. Obviously this is going to require several coats. I also do the shoes in this colour. And there is a chip missing from the front of the shoe, but I don't really do anything about that, so whatever. Here I do pink on the tongue of the gnome. And I also use the same pink to give the gnome a bit of a blush, just to liven him up a bit. I just put it on and then blur it out. I smudge it out with my finger. I do it on both cheeks, try and get up a nice colour, and I also do a bit on the nose as well. And I think it looks pretty cute. So now I try and do a nice cross-hatch texture. Why I use these stupid kids brushes for this bit was beyond me. I have detail brushes, which could have done the job a million times neater. Yeah, I'm an idiot sometimes. I don't know if you've noticed that yet. But look how messy that is. Like, the amount of touch-ups I had to do just because I used the wrong brush to do it. Please don't use kids brushes if you have a detail brush. Now I use the detail brush. What's wrong with me? Use it for the buttons. After tidying everything up a bit, I then just give everything a quick layer of matte Mod Podge. This stops the varnish that I use from tearing up the paint, which can happen sometimes. So I just give everything a once over with the Mod Podge. This dries clear, so I just apply a nice thick coat everywhere. All across the head and the face and the back and stuff. I just go over the entire thing. And this just is a good step and it helps it feel more finished. I then give everything a nice coat of varnish. For some reason, I don't know why, it didn't come out as shiny as the other gnome did, even though it's from the exact same pot of varnish. Yeah, I don't know. It looked different, even though it's from the same varnish. Maybe something about using the wood varnish on a non-wood item. That would make sense. I'm probably going to buy some more varnish for the next project, but whatever. Yeah, I just apply that, and this is what it looks like when it's done. I think it looks pretty cute. It goes well with the other one, and Honestly, what I'm looking at here is how messy the background is. But still, thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram at HannahMouseCrafts, and I'll see you next time. Bye!